In 1936, Isabella Gilbert invented a device to create dimples. A man is celebrating the end of the drought in 1951 Texas. A young boy, 8 years old, is working on a farm. This happened in western Massachusetts in 1915. T.J. Fantini, Britney Spears, 11, and Justin Timberlake, 12, in 1993 when they were on the Mickey Mouse Club. The United States used to have a eugenics program. It forcibly sterilized over 60,000 people. Most of them were poor women, women of color, or people with disabilities. This continued into the 1970s, and Native American and Puerto Rican women were affected the most. An Easter Island statue, 1868. You never think about Hitler just being some guy, you know? In 1985, Ebony magazine ran a feature called What They May Look Like in the Year 2000. Here's Michael Jackson's. A soldier is recovering. He survived a shot to the face during the Civil War. Steve Jobs and Bill Gates are talking about the PC's future at Jobs' Palo Alto home in 1991. There's a Native American man overlooking the newly completed Transcontinental Railroad in Nevada, around 1868. The very first vaccine in human history was invented in 1796 by Edward Jenner. He used the milder cowpox virus to protect people from deadly smallpox. There's a gathering of important suffragists meeting with members of the Tennessee General Assembly. This happened after Tennessee ratified the 19th Amendment in August of 1920. The monster sunfish was caught by W.N. Macmillan of East Africa at Santa Catalina Island, California, on April 1, 1910. The weight was estimated at 3,500 pounds. A Ford collides with a train in Los Angeles in 1955. Wing Commander James Johnny Johnson, the RAF's top-scoring fighter pilot, is here with his Spitfire and his pet Labrador Sally in Normandy in 1644. Alright, it's a pub stop in England, 1974. The casserole vendor is on Rue Perrolière, which was then Rue des Chaudrons in Toulouse, France. The photo was taken by Georges Chevalier on April 18, 1916. George Harrison of the Beatles taking a selfie at the Taj Mahal in 1966. A one-legged German veteran from the First World War is begging on the streets of Berlin, Germany in 1923. Brigitte Bardot is on the set of the film Mademoiselle Striptease in 1956. Al Jolson and a Cadillac touring car are at the St. Francis Hotel in San Francisco in 1927. That was the year he made talkie history in The Jazz Singer. A soda jerker is flipping ice cream into malted milkshakes. This is Corpus Christi, Texas in 1939. Ensign Robert T. King in his damaged TBM-3 Avenger, White 113, in 1945. This Avenger was hit by another aircraft during a flight above, which had been struck by anti-aircraft fire. The collision removed about 4 feet of the left wing. Serbian basketball player Boban Jankovic screams after he rammed his head against a concrete post. This was over a bad call by the referee during a game. He became paralysed from the neck down and never walked again. The year was 1993. College girls on bicycles are stopping to chat with cadets in 1945. Typhoid Mary, also known as Mary Mallon, is with a nurse, around 1925. Barack Obama is dressed as a pirate with his mother, Stanley Ann. It was the 1960s. Madonna in 1995. Artist Walter and Margaret Keane are working on portraits of actress Natalie Wood in 1960. A Farmer and a Horse, Scotland, 1921. There's a Marine and His Fox from 1943. Artist Frida Kahlo, 1929. Best Easter Wishes. A chick is pulling flowers in a small wagon. This was made by the Rotograph Company of New York in 1908. British Prime Minister Sir Neville Chamberlain is returning from talks with Hitler in Germany. This happened in London in September of 1938. Actress Brigitte Helm is taking a break in costume on the set of the 1927 Fritz Lang film Metropolis. She plays Maria, the machine man, in the movie. So it's the 1980s and you're in a dorm. You want to call home, right? Well, you have to find a phone, and then you got to have some quarters. You need to feed the phone a bunch of quarters to actually talk. It costs money. Sharpening Teeth of Indonesian Tribes, 1938. At an unidentified camp in Germany, Soviet prisoners of war beg for food. So, the famous silent film Metropolis from 1927. It was a pretty big deal. The film was directed by Fritz Lang. He was the director. Ava Lavinia Gardner in her 50s. (1939). This is the General Motors exhibit from the Golden Gate International Exposition in San Francisco. There are girls on an Oldsmobile convertible coupe. It was a showcase for the latest in body and chassis developments. A mother gives her son one last kiss before he leaves to become a Soviet partisan. Angelina Jolie, 1998. Keanu Reeves in New York, 1997. It's about the result of a winter fire at the Equitable Building, built in 1870. This happened in Manhattan in 1912. This is a cutlery set designed by Salvador Dali in 1957. A melon vendor wearing traditional Central Asian clothing is selling his goods at a market in Samarkand, which is in modern-day Uzbekistan, sometime around 1905 to 1915. A woman who was a collaborator is wearing a German soldier's uniform somewhere in France. This was found on a German prisoner of war during the 1940s. A woman is riding a bicycle. She has buckets of milk on the yoke. This is in the Netherlands in 1946. Jane Mansfield is posing on a couch on the set of the television show The Bachelor from the 1950s. Police officers and detectives standing in front of the Yongchun Police Station's Dechang branch in South Korea during the 1960s. In 1952, home audio technology was going through a revolution, and hi-fi tube record players became the centerpiece of modern living rooms. Washington, D.C., 1924. Here's the latest in electric baseball scoreboards. George Coleman, the inventor, is shown with the mechanism. How'll this do, 1894. Rosemary Mueller's reaction, 1966. 9-year-old Rosemary Mueller from Long Island is recovering from heart surgery. She's watching a similar operation being performed live on television. A snow leopard hunt, Kyrgyz Soviet Socialist Republic, 1973. During the Soviet era, they allowed snow leopard hunting in Kyrgyzia. People really valued their fur. Hunting is now prohibited, and about 300 endangered species live in Kyrgyzia. Women in bathing suits are trying to push a sunken BMW out of the water. This is in Germany in 1934. Pablo Picasso and Brigitte Bardot are outside his studio in Vallauris during the Cannes Film Festival in 1956. Soviet citizens are looking at the Wall of Sorrow, honouring the hundreds of thousands of people killed by Stalinism. In 1988, the Soviet government allowed information regarding the victims of Stalin's Great Purge to become public. A German woman is burning tons of legal paper money during the hyperinflation of German currency in the 1920s. The paper money was cheaper than wood or coal, so families used it to fuel their fires during the crisis. Judy Garland taking a break on the set of The Wizard of Oz, 1938. Alright, checking the catch, Nha Trang, Vietnam, 1950. Black Belt magazine travel advertisement from 1968. It definitely wouldn't make it past the editors today. A boy is playing a prank on a policeman by attaching a firework to the policeman's clothing. This happened in England in 1925. It's a vehicle, an electric taxi in New York from 1898. Elgin, Illinois, around 1956. A pony's eating cake at a birthday party. Princess Diana is losing an argument to her 7-year-old son. It was around 1991. There's a group of boys playing in a cemetery in the UK. It was 1948. Princess Grace of Monaco visiting John F. Kennedy at the White House in 1961. An election poster with the slogan "You are the majority" from France, 1969. Larry King, Florida, 1971. It's March of 1941. The Good Humor Man visits the trailer camp on Saturday afternoon. These kids are the sons of torpedo plant workers who live in Alexandria, Virginia. An American army officer and a French civilian share a toast amidst the rubble of the town of Saint-Lô. There was a train collision on the Chicago Subway North Line. This happened between Harrison Street and Wabash Avenue stations on May 24, 1953. On April 4, 1991, Angela Hammond, 20, was abducted while using a payphone. Her fiancé heard her screams and the haunting words of her kidnapper saying, "I didn't need to use the phone anyway," before the line went dead. She has never been found. A wooden Ferris wheel in Albania, 1924. Classes at the Émile Jacques Dalcroze Institute of Music and Rhythm. That was in Hellerau, Germany in 1912. It's the 1940s and we're talking about swing. This is a racist sign from Johannesburg, South Africa, during the apartheid era. August 1952, Los Angeles. Marilyn Monroe is attending a publicity event for the film Don't Bother to Knock. The British Army had bicycles in 1914. The first photograph from the Hubble telescope, 1990. December 1st, 1925, Miss Lois Hoover and a pig went out for a stroll in Washington. They had a chauffeur to do the heavy lifting. Boris Yeltsin is addressing a crowd on August 19, 1991 during a coup against him. The first successful submarine was built in 1894. Former King of Yugoslavia, Peter II, and his son are wearing futuristic suits. This was in England in 1950. New York, 1958. There are dancers in a nightclub and they're playing chess. Smartphones haven't been invented yet. This advertisement is for a company in Los Angeles. The year was 1924. They made excavators. The golden bust of Marcus Aurelius was discovered in 1939. In 1977, David Berkowitz sent taunting letters signed Son of Sam while shooting strangers across New York City. When publishers lined up to buy his story, New York passed the Son of Sam law to stop criminals from profiting off their crimes. Punk Girl, Germany, Berlin, 1982. The punk movement emerged in the late 1960s and early 1970s in the UK, USA, Canada and Australia. A newspaper article discusses Trump evicting stroke victim Mary Fillan from one of his apartments. The date is May 5th, 1980. An American soldier is putting up a Roosevelt Boulevard sign, replacing an Adolf Hitler Strasse sign in Berlin, Germany, in 1945. The B-17 Flying Fortress encountered a head-on attack from 3 fighters. The gunners took down 2 of them, and the third had a dead man at the controls. The fighter then smashed head-on into the No. 3 engine. A Finnish major is talking to a blind Finnish volunteer who has just returned. They're in Hanko, Finland, on June 1st, 1943. Nuns are on a ride at the Chicago Fair in Illinois in 1962. In 1952, the consequences of landing on the wrong aircraft carrier were serious. New York, around 1921, stage actress Marilyn Miller is in the driver's seat. It's a charity event from 1982. For a single dollar, anyone could smash a car to help families hurt by the auto industry's troubles. Back in the 70s, Japanese cars started to outsell the American ones. This led to a lot of job losses, and this event was a symbolic way to destroy foreign cars. Actress Charlotte Rampling on the set of Abduction Sardinia 1966. Father Christmas is wearing a tin helmet and walking on Regent Street in London, England. He's carrying a bag of presents. This was in 1940. Marilyn Lovell and 3 of her children watch as Jim Lovell blasts off on Apollo 8 with Frank Borman and Bill Anders. They would become the first humans to orbit the moon. A milkman left bottles of milk on a doorstep in the 1950s. Abraham Lincoln. He was born in 1809. He was the 16th President of the United States. He served from 1861 to 1865. He led the country through the Civil War. He issued the Emancipation Proclamation. He was assassinated in 1865. A Shaolin monk is running on a wall in China in 1989. The teacher leads the class in prayer at a one-room schoolhouse in Tennessee. It was 1940. Hans Christian Andersen. He was born in 1805 in Odense, Denmark, the son of a shoemaker and a washerwoman. He grew up in poverty. He was a writer of fairy tales. His stories include The Little Mermaid, The Ugly Duckling, and The Emperor's New Clothes. He died in 1875. Swimsuit show, Paris 1949. (1915), the Granada Street Army. Cotton candy at the Pittsburgh Fair, 1945. It's a Chevrolet Turbo Titan 3 with a gas turbine engine. The whole series got cancelled because of new emission restrictions, all the way back in 1960. This is an anchor from the Nemi ship found in Lake Nemi, which is near Rome, Italy. It was a Roman ceremonial barge that Emperor Caligula built 2,000 years ago. A recently released Jewish prisoner attacks a German guard in 1945. Al Pacino, Rhode Island, 1961. The southernmost point in the United States used to have a simple concrete marker and a light. It was a no-frills spot, nothing fancy. Kids are playing in a modernist playground in Redditch, England in 1971. Sean Connery and Claudine Auger are at a film shoot. It's for the 4th movie about the British super agent James Bond, Thunderball, which was made in 1965. (1980s) New Zealand. The chief of the Tuho tribe, Tutakanga Hau, a man in a cloak, and his son Tukwatarangi. The location is not identified.